Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Leela, and if you're new here, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're not new here, welcome back. And today we're actually going to be doing an MC Command Center walkthrough. Every single section is going to be featured except for a quote in this video. And the reason that I am doing this is because I haven't seen many videos where they explore all the sections of MC Command Center, and so I'm actually just doing a dedicated video to it, and then I'll show my other essential mods, because I've noticed that a lot of YouTubers here on SimsTube encourage people, nothing's wrong with that, but they like encourage people to get mods that their features are already in MC Command Center. And so I figure it's a lack of knowledge, and so I just thought that I could go through it, because there are a lot of features sometimes that somebody else will point out to me and I'm like, oh my goodness, I never knew that. So I guess we can move on from all the apping and just start going through it section by section, click by click. Thank you so much for tuning into my video. Thank you so much for, I think I'm over 450 subscribers, and that's just so exciting. Okay, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so here we have my sim Ozan, who I created just for this video with her cute little puppy Pixel. And if you're just getting MC Command Center for the first time, which I highly doubt, to edit majority of the settings by default, you'll have to use a PC. So we're gonna go here on Ozan's PC. I'm using another mod, which I can tell you guys about in the part 2 of this entire mod showcase, to get her dog as the wallpaper. So we're gonna click on the PC. And now we're gonna click on this button right here with 𝘸𝘢𝘵 icon, MC Command Center, and we can begin getting into it. So this is a brand new save, just so that we can get into the nitty-gritty of everything. Okay guys, we're gonna start off in MCCC settings. I'm actually going to skip autosave. I'm gonna be honest guys, it's not a fan favorite in my book, so I'm just gonna skip it. I'm only skipping like a couple of things so you don't have to worry about it, but if it confuses me or I don't fully understand it, I'm not going to explore it. But of course, I'm not going to go through. I just don't really play with occult, so I've never explored it. I don't even enter it. So let's head into gameplay settings. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to see is adopt neglected child. This is essentially if when I'm actually noticing that this is enabled, so I think that a lot of the features are going to come over, but I thought only like 1 or 2 would come over, but maybe this is included. Anyways, when this is enabled, if you neglect your child, like you don't feed the baby or the toddler or even your child sim, they are going to disappear from your world normally. But if you have this enabled, which all you have to do is click enabled and it will be enabled. If you click disabled, it will be disabled, but it's already enabled. Once you have this enabled, your child will be adopted by another family. So they'll still be in the world and you'll have the opportunity to add them back to your household. Otherwise, the child will disappear forever and there will be no way to get the child back, which is kind of crazy, but whatever. After adopt neglected child, you have adopt no caregiver. This is pretty self-explanatory. You would have the ability to adopt a child that is in a household with no adult and or caregiver. So you can just set that to enabled and they will be adopted into another family. And maybe they'll come up as an option. I don't think they'll come up as an option if you're adopting though, because I think those are randomly generated each time. Okay, so character values difficulty adjustment. With the character values difficulty adjustment, these would be things like in parenthood, I'm not sure if it extends beyond that, like your responsibility and such. You are now essentially determining how quickly it progresses. So negative numbers, the lower the negative number, the slower. So -10 would be, oh sorry, I pressed P. -10 would be 10% slower, and -100 would be 100% slower. And then of course 10 would be 10% slower and 100% would be 100% slower. And then its maximum value is actually 10. Its maximum value is actually 10. So it can only ever be 10 times fast. I'm just double checking something, guys. It can only ever be 10 times faster, 10% faster. And then the minimum value is -50. So it can only ever be 50% slower. Okay. And now that that's that, we have fame difficulty adjustment. This is the same thing, but for your fame, So again, same maximum values, same concept, just for your fame. So that's get famous. Character values is parenthood, I believe. And then this is a favorite for me, game time speed. So as y'all can see, I have adjusted this setting, and this adjusts how quickly or how slowly your game runs. The maximum value is 1,000, the minimum value is 1. The higher the value beyond 25, which is the default, is the slower your game runs. I can't stand the default run because I feel like my Sims do everything very slowly sometimes, except for eat. They eat very quickly, and sometimes it will take like an hour for them to cook a meal. That doesn't make any sense. So I slow it down a bit so it's a little bit more realistic. So the higher the value and it ends at 1,000, the slower the game. The lower the value, the faster the game, and that's why the minimum value is 1. So at 1, the game will be running top speed, okay? After that, you have game time speed. Then, okay, maximum household size. So I wouldn't recommend that you adjust this, because once you go into cast, you won't be able to edit your Sims beyond the number 8 slot. So I wouldn't recommend it. But in case you're doing, I think, the 100 baby challenge or anything of the sort, you can adjust it and you will be able to add, let's say, 90 Sims into your game. But I will stick to 8. That's what I like. I've never had a household over 8 or ever wanted to. And after maximum household size, we have maximum rename length. And this is essentially for how long your Sims names can be. You might get a cast, you will get a cast error if you make it any longer than 14, but I think it will still apply anyways. The maximum value is 255. This is another setting that I don't see why I personally need to change it, but some people have really long names and they want to put it in the Sims, so you can change it to any value once it is no more than 255. Then we have motive decay. Now, motive decay is, I'm not going to go into each one, but that would be your needs. So let's also go into sim motive decay. The default value is 100, but I don't want it to decay as quickly, so I put it to 75. So the lower it is, the slower that it decays. The higher it is, the faster that it decays. I just think sometimes it's a little stressful when it's decaying so much, so I dropped it to 75, but you can drop it all the way to 0, which means no decay at all. And you can change it to 500, which would make them, they'd be going through a lot if their decay was at the maximum. And you can do it for babies, cats, dogs, for your fame, horses, and Sims. After motive decay, then we have pause and done. This is an essential for me. I believe, yeah, it's automatically disabled. So every time you load into a lot, do you guys hate it when the game is already running? You don't even get a chance to take a breath before you go into the gameplay. Or maybe you want to set them up in a certain position or set up their actions. Well, no, you can, because when you select enabled and you load into the game, all you have to do is whatever you please, and then you can click the play button for everything to go into action. After pause and zone, then you have Sims are mortal. Pretty straightforward. Disabled, they die. Enabled, they don't ever die. And for skill settings, you have multiple, so you can, this is a little bit complicated if you don't use MCCC often, but there is another option when you click on Sims. These are just for the general settings, but if I open MCCC on Ozan, I have the option to cheat in skills for her, and this essentially determines bypass what skills won't automatically get a number. So it's pretty annoying when I do the random thing, and I used to have this mod base mental, like they'd have max rolling, like blunt rolling skill. I'm just like, that's a pretty random. I mean, it's not necessarily, but it'll be pretty random to me, I guess. So for me, the things that I haven't bypassed are charisma. So when the game loads in and I select for it to give them random skill levels or max skill levels, everything that you see here is green that I've selected, that's green, won't be accounted for, but they get charisma, cooking, dancing, fishing, fitness, and anything that isn't green, they'll actually get those things randomly without having to ever do anything. Then you have skill difficulty adjustment. This is essentially the same thing as like the game time. You have the option to adjust the percentage that is going at to gain your skill. So if she's playing the piano at 0, it will be the default Sims 4 time to learn each skill. At the maximum value of 10, it will be the max, like she'll be learning super fast. And at the minimum value of -50, or let's say we want her to learn really slowly, we want to stretch it out, we're gonna put it at like -45, but we leave it at 0. I feel like they gain skills at a pretty okay level, and I'll just leave that alone. Then we have skill difficulty exclude list. So the setting that we just would have determined, you can decide what doesn't apply to what you just did and what would just apply to base game. So it's really good. You can adjust the skill difficulty, and then it can only be for certain skills whilst others will be normal. Then you have the include list, where you can select what is actually included. So, you know, one and the other. Then you have skill freeze progression list. This is if you select to freeze these Sims' skills in MC Command Center, what would be frozen and what wouldn't be frozen. So everything that you select would be frozen if you select to do a skill freeze. And if you never touch any of these skills, then when you adjust that setting on a sim, then it's just a free-for-all, honestly. So I would say if you're going to use those settings, then at least make it a little more focused or targeted. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for skill settings. What else? Teleport sim overlap. Okay, so if you use Andrew's post player and the sim teleporter statue thing, you will know that it's integral for the sims to overlap when you're doing poses. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, just leave it alone. If you know what I'm talking about, you probably also want to leave it alone. But just in case you do poses that don't, I don't know why, I really don't know why you would want them to overlap, but like I said, I don't know. So maybe there's a community of people that use poses where they don't want them to directly overlap. You can put it on disabled, but for the most part, enabled is perfectly fine. You should be 100% fine, nothing to think about. Now we have random aging, which is enabled. It's a feature in Get Famous, where when a sim spawns, they won't actually be at the beginning of their life stage. They can be a few days in or a few days from aging up to the next one. So it's randomized, and I like that. I think it's good, adds some dimension to each of the NPCs, and so I keep it enabled. But if you want, every time a sim loads in as a young adult, they're at the beginning stages of being a young adult, beginning stages of being an elder, beginning stages of being an adult, or whatever life stage they're at, you can disable it. And that would be everything for gameplay settings. So let's get out of that. And we're still under just MCC settings. Like I said, this is an exhaustive list. Okay, guys. So now let's go into money settings. Okay, so the first thing is allow child to pay bills. I have this disabled. Me personally, I don't want children paying bills, but maybe for your ease or in real life, that's, you know, what you do, which isn't impossible. Children pay bills all the time. As in, just they have the functionality to pay the bills. That's all it is. You can click enabled. So they can go on the computer or pay from their phone. Then you have apartment bills percent. This is essentially to say how much. I don't know why I paused a while ago. I'm on. I just wanted to see if it was percentage wise. Okay, so if you type in 100, it will be double the bills. Yeah, so it will be 100% more. So it's by percentage. And then the minimum value would be -100, which would be absolutely no bills, $0 coming in. So you guys can adjust it as necessary. Then you have auto pay bills. That's a big no for me. What if I'm like doing a challenge and saving up money and the bills come in? Like, it's a big no for me. Let me decide if I want to have the lights on. But you can, if it's annoying for you to pay the bills, you can have it enabled. What next? You have change bills percent, which is the same thing as the apartment bills percent, but just for like light, water, etc. Your regular everyday bills. Then you have child support percent. So I have this set to 9 because I'm pretty sure that in the US, but I'm not 100% sure, it's 9%. I'm not sure. I don't think it's percentage in Jamaica, but I just set it to 9 because I feel like it's very basic. And I think it's okay. Maybe I should set it to 10, but I'll just leave it here. I think it's real and works, but you can set it to anything you feel. It will be that percentage of the sim who doesn't live with the children's pay that goes to you, like, I think every week. I'm not sure how often they pay out the child support. Then you have inheritance sim type. For inheritance sim type, you are deciding who gets what when your sim dies. So let's say Ozan is married with 3 kids. You determine if only her spouse gets it, if her spouse and her children get it, or if her, oh wait, no, I think this is actually, no, we're not at that setting yet. We're not at that setting yet. This one determines whether you're active sims, everything in the game, or only NPC sims. Then you have only played sims, only sims that you've played, not necessarily your active one. And then you have played an NPC only. So that would be everybody but your active family. That determines who those settings I was just talking about would apply to. And then below that, then you have inheritance spouse first. So that's what I was talking about. This determines if your spouse gets the money first when you die, or your children get the money first when you die. And so I currently have it set that the spouse would receive the inheritance rather than the children, but I'm a disabled. I want the children to get the money first. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the children get the money first. And then this is pay child support. So even though you set the child support percent up here, you actually have to enable it for who you want it to be enabled for. So I have it at all, but maybe you could have it at only married sims, maybe none. And you could also have it at unmarried only. So I don't really get that, but you know. So there you go. You can select which one, and that would be it for money settings. Okay, after money settings, then you have notification console and menu settings. Now this is a big deal right here. Okay, this changes quite a few things that you maybe wouldn't know about. So this is change sim menu order. This we don't have to get into, but just in case when you click on your sims you get really annoyed, like let's say you use MC dresser really often and you think it's too low, you can move it to the top. Ta-da! It won't, I don't think it will apply until I reset the game, or maybe only when I actually click on Ozan will it work. And then let's say the second one that I use the most would be MC cheats. I can move it up, or I can move it to the top and then move MC dresser to the top, and then they'd be right on top of each other. So let me just do that. Let's move it to the top, then do MC dresser to the top, and MC dresser and MC cheats, my top 2 are now there. If you made a mistake just now, you can reset to default order, but let's save the current order because I don't mind that at all. So now you know that. I feel like that's a big one. Okay, now console command settings. So this is one that I love. Build by settings. You can enable every single cheat known in this section. Just enable, but I have another mod that adjusts the build by, that's Twisted Mex's better build by, and so I don't really touch it just in case it's gonna conflict with the mechanics of that mod. I just leave them alone. But if you don't have that mod, you can enable all sorts of things, not all sorts of things, literally every single build by cheat. Here we have debug commands in cheats. Enable this. Just trust me, just enable this. Have you ever seen someone shift click on an object and you see the option to delete that object? By enabling this, that will come up. Then you have enable full edit cast. Of course it's enabled because I find it really annoying when I just want to like shift click on a sim or enter MC commands, enter, I'm going to cast, and I only have like the change outfit options. I want to fully edit them no matter what. So that's always on. I don't have to put in the cheat. I don't have to worry about it. It's just always there. Headline effects. No, I used to have this disabled, but I actually have a mod that takes away the plumb bobs, missing plumb bob mod, but we get into that in another video. But so I leave it on, but in case you don't want to use that mod, you just don't want any headline effects, you don't need to get another mod for it. You already have the option here. So if you want to turn them off, you can select disabled. Then we have hover effects. So that's when you hover over a sim and there's a white outline. If you don't like that, you can disable it right here. You don't need another mod. And then you have testing cheats. This just determines if testing cheats is always on. I never have to press Control Shift C. It's just always on. Well, to turn on that cheat, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Okay, next we have logging settings, and y'all, I'm gonna tell you straight up, I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue. So we're gonna move on to notification settings. This is good. Okay, so every single notification here, for the most part, on, I think you're going to want to leave these off, but we're still going to go through them in case you do want them on. So aging and death, this is the, if you have this enabled, it will show agent notifications, and you choose whether it's NPC, played only, related to your active household, active friends only, or active romances only, or all. So that's basically it for age up, death, NPC birthdays, and pet death notifications. You choose. You're essentially choosing right now which notifications you're getting. This is for empty house notifications, if you want it or not. Moving, deciding who. So if you want to know when your friends move, you can select active friends only. All that you're doing is selecting if something happens in your world, do you want to know about it? It even applies for neighborhood stories, like the pregnancies. If a pregnancy happens, you'll know. If you like only your friends, only your romances, you know. You decide who you want to get notifications about. Me personally, I like how things are. I don't like a lot of notifications. The less the better. So I leave all of those alone in notification settings. There's also the option to show notifications. I suppose that means they won't pop up right here, but if you click on the notification icon, they can come up. But that's a definite for me. I don't want something to be happening and I miss out on it because I didn't see the notification, or I make a decision where if I had gotten that notification, I would have made another decision. And then for phone text, I just leave it at all because it's just between only getting festival text or getting no text. And I don't think there's much gray area to have a some text. So I just leave it at all text so that I don't miss out on any other kinds of text. And then show menu settings. Okay, so I'm just going to leave this alone because I have an idea of what it's talking about. I think it's basically just saying what you click on, what's going to come up. Because for the computer, all the settings come up. And then for sim, like, yeah, it decides sim menu only or all settings, but I'm not exactly sure because I know you get limited settings when you click on everything except for the computer. So I'm not going to dabble in that too much, but I think if you read them, you'd have a better idea. But I don't really mind the default, so we're not going to go through that. Okay, now let's go into relationship settings. So for relationship settings, you have quite a few things, like if you want to allow teen parenting. This is basically just if the teens can have the parenting skill. I have this disabled, but if you have a pregnant teen, it's a must-have. So you can have it enabled, but it's not really something that I need to explore right now. Maybe in the future, if I have a pregnant teen in a let's play that I'm doing. Then we have, I try not to edit too many settings if they're really not necessary, because I don't know if it really affects the way that my game runs. So I try not to edit them too much. I try not to mess with the code too much if I don't have to. Okay, so auto relationship settings. This is like, you can decide here if what happens to sims if they break up. Like, would they move out? You decide who. Would the male sim move out, the female sim, or it's left to chance? I choose male. You can choose as you please. So with couple relationship change percent, this essentially just determines the percentage that the couple's relationship would increase or decrease. You just have to select a percentage and then it will apply. And then you have move children with breakup. This determines if they stay. Since I have male selected to leave, it would determine if they stay with the mother or they leave with the father. I think I usually have this on like 50. Like, there's just a 50% chance it could go with either. And then you have spouse relationship change percent. That's basically the same thing as this one, and you can just select your percentage. Great. Then you have bypass ancestral household. Guys, I don't really know what an ancestral household is, so I just leave it on the, I just leave them as it is. Bypass played households, this is enabled. So when they're checking for any relationship changes, they're going to leave your played households alone. And that's fine by me. I don't like to dabble around with my played households too much. Then you have move in settings. You can allow homeless romance moving. I think I have that enabled, yeah. even though I don't have any homeless sims in my game, but you know, you never know. You have moving ages. I have everything but teen. So if you have a romance, then you can move in. And the moving romance level is sweethearts. I have that set to sweethearts. Once they're sweethearts, they can move in with each other. It's natural. Yeah, sweetheart is fine. And then you have a romance moving percent, which is essentially the same thing. And I guess you can put this at like 45, even though I'm not sure how it works with the romance level and the percentage, but you know, I'm not a know-it-all. I don't know every single thing, but I am trying to show what I do know. And then outer relation. Okay, friendship decay percentage. All the decay percentages, romantic and romance, and you know, this romantic and friendship, same thing. You're just determining how quickly it decays over time if you're not interacting with the person. And then romance difficulty adjustment would be the same sort of percentage thing with a relationship. When you do a romantic action, how much does it actually add to their romance bar? And the relationship culling is essentially where you can adjust how, like, if the relationship is at a certain low level, then the relationship will be deleted completely. Like, you don't need it to be taking up space in your Sims thing. But I have it on the EA on, but I could set it to my cleaner settings, and then you'll see what my cleaner settings are in a second. So I think that's it for relationship settings. And then we can set age span duration for each and every single sim thing. You can do it for the short lifespan, the normal lifespan, and the long lifespan, but I don't mind having it at the Sims 4's regular settings. And that is it for MCCC settings. Okay, great. Now MC cast, I feel like everything here is pretty straightforward. Not only that, but I don't really dabble in it. Other than like offspring, use parent physical attributes. Yeah. So teenagers are gonna inherit their parents' body part values, fit or fat settings rather than being random. And then you have parent values, variance percentage. All of these settings are basically messing around with the body parts and stuff. I like to leave this kind of stuff at EA because I like the way that EA does it for the most part. Like, use parent skin tones, no, because I like averaging it for the offspring. I don't want it to be exact because most of the time that's not how it is in real life. And use parent skin details. Ooh, actually, yes, I like that. And bypass blue babies. If this setting is enabled, hybrid babies not be blue. Yes, I like that. I like that. Even though, guys, I don't play with the coats, I don't think I'll ever have to worry about that. Okay, like I said, I don't really dabble so much in MC cast, so it's just really about you deciding what the defaults will be when you're playing around in cast and things that affect your Sims appearance. Okay, so now let's go into MC career. Okay, so for MC career, you can determine if your settings will bypass your played households. I have that disabled. Everything here should apply to everybody. So career difficulty adjustment, I have that on 0. It's the same kind of percentage thing as before. You determine how difficult it is, or how essentially how slowly you progress or how quickly you progress every time you go to work or every time you do something for work. I have it on 0, but I think I'm actually gonna put it to 3. Sorry, I hit W as well. I think I'm just gonna put it to 3 because sometimes the careers are a little slow and boring. Okay, children quit school. If enable children will be able to quit school, it's gonna be a big no for me. Then you have neighborhood story settings. You can alter them. You can determine if they'll be limited by these settings here for your NPCs and such, and whoever the neighborhood settings apply to. And I think that is okay. And you also have school homework progression. This was a must-have when I played with kids more. I used to have a mod for it, and then it was just like, oh my goodness, when I started exploring MCCC, I realized I can just edit it here. So I think it's different for university. There's another setting for university as well, but I'm gonna just put this on 15. Now I'll put it on 20 because they take a minute to do their homework. Then you have Secret Society Decay. I don't play with Secret Societies, but you could imagine, based on what we've been going through, what it would do. Teens quit school, sure. Let's see, university difficulty adjustment. Ugh. I think I'm gonna put that at 2 based on the main max values. Then we're gonna have, cause university coming hard. Then we have, yes, university homework position progression. We're gonna put that at 20 as well, just that they do it a little faster. I mean, I take a while to do homework still, I'm not gonna lie, but that is it for MC career. So next we're gonna go into MC cleaner. I'm gonna skip detail logging and item cleaner. No, okay, let's not skip item cleaner. I'm glad I didn't. I forgot that these are in here. So I don't really know what definitions does, but I know that for sync glasses, if your Sims have glasses, this is going to sync it to every outfit. Every single outfit that they have, they're going to wear glasses automatically. If they have medical devices, it's going to be synced to every single outfit automatically. Neighborhood cleaner, this determines if the game will delete Sims based on what you set here. So, well, no, not Sims, but, well, some Sims, but other things as well, like ghosts. You can bypass ghosts when it's deleting Sims if they are in a family tree of your active house, which I have enabled. I don't want them to delete the ghosts of my active Sims because they probably were an active Sim for me. And then you can clean cold Sims, which would be Sims who you've determined you don't need to be friends with anymore. So those can go. And then you have sync household names. Yeah, I usually have that enabled. That way, if Ozan gets married to someone, her name would now be her last name would be changed to their last name, or however it goes. And I think there's another setting that makes it so that the female will get the male's name. Okay, so let's go into relationship cleaner, households clean. So you can determine here what households will be clean. I would not recommend doing played households or active households. I would recommend it remaining on NPC household, because if you're playing a household or they're active household, you'd want them to go through the cleaning process. Then you have relationships to leave. This defines the number of relationships to always leave when doing a relationship cleaning. So even though it's cleaning everything you've recommended, it might still leave some just so that relationships are happening in your game. If it's a situation where, based on your settings, it could delete every single relationship in a game. For me, it's a 0. It's unnecessary. Delete them, make my game run smoother. Then you have relationships to clean. Yeah, I think you can just be acquaintances, because if I'm friends with someone, I don't think yeah, acquaintances is fine. If we haven't chatted up and made a good relationship, you can go. And that is it for the relationship cleaner. Now let's talk about the same cleaner. All this has to do is with the sync married names, like I was telling you guys about. So if Sims are married but their last names do not match, this will change the last name so they match periodically. But what I'm wondering is, oh, my bad, guys. I'm not reading most of them. I'm just doing it from memory because my screen is a bit far. So really, with the name one, okay, so for sync household names, it's actually for the entire family, not just the married people. But you know, if it's just married people, it would have also applied. So it's any family living there, they'll have the same names. And then the other one is just for marriages. And that is, let me just double check. That is actually it. Yep, for MC Cleaner. Okay, guys, the video is running a little long, so we're gonna split it into 2 parts. In the next one, you're gonna see MC clubs, MC dresser, MC population, MC pregnancy, and MC tuner, which have some goodies as well. And maybe, just maybe, we could do a quote, but I'm still not feeling it. So I'm gonna cut this off here, and I will see you guys in the next part. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys gained some goodies and learned something new, and we'll go through the rest in the next one. Please take care of yourselves. Thank you for watching. Bye.